Oh, welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for December 20th, 2023. We'll follow our standard approach of going through the agenda items that we have in the issue that was created in the repo. Sorry, just got to add the link. Hello, Matteo. Any announcements that people would like to share before we get started?
To all collaborators, we are thinking of doing a collaborator summit in April before CityJS. The dates are still not locked in completely, but in case, pencil it in your calendar. Essentially, it's all the details are in the issue, which is, I don't know, let me figure it out. But it's you should be thinking of coming over. Essentially, that's the TLDR of it. It's.
I think the other thing that's good to mention on that is that the CFP for CityJS ends the end of the year. So if you are thinking of coming, it would be good to submit to the CFP as well, right?
Yeah. We are currently, it's not, everything is not, it's still an hypothesis, okay? There's no, we still haven't got the space locked up, but currently it's a good working theory. On the same note, if you have a good event that you would like us to recommend, ideally in North America, where we can attach to for our collaborator summit, please let us know. Okay, we are all ears, event organizers. If you are listening, or if you're, hopefully we are not shouting in the void. Okay, but if you something that would be relevant for the Node audience, essentially.
Yeah, and hopefully with some overlap with people who are interested but aren't necessarily regular participants in the
pretty much
the Node core community itself. Okay, any other announcements people would like to share, discuss? Okay, if not, let's move on to the issues tagged for the agenda. The first one is inconsistent behavior of nexttick and queue microtask. This is number 51156 in the Node repo. I'm just taking a look. If you were the one who opened it or tagged it, please jump in. Otherwise, I'll.
It's me and Robert. So I opened the issue. Okay. and Benjamin is raising his hand. So I don't know, Benjamin, do you want to say something?
No. Just I joined from the computer, and if you can try to move me to the right, like a thing. I joined twice, so if
I tried to.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
There. Oh, the other one.
Thanks. That's it.
That's it. Good. Okay, thanks.
Oh, there is also Antoine.
Yeah, I think I just pushed the button.
Okay. So the issue at end is very it's nice, okay, in the sense that one of the patterns that we recommend, okay, it's to, when you create an event emitter that can emit errors, we say when you emit those errors, you should emit those errors in a nexttick, okay, so that people that if you are, for example, returning your event emitter to a caller, they can install their error handlers so that they can actually handle those errors when they will be emitted. Unfortunately, okay, and this is unfortunate, I am going to say, and there's nothing much here. This does not play well with queue with promises in general, okay? And me and Ronag have posted, I worked for an hour to post an example. So depending on in which phase of the introduction between nexttick and the queue microtask is, the behavior of a promise returning an event emitter is different, which is so much fun. And this allows for subtle bugs, okay? You should probably take a look at the issue. It's, I don't know what is, I tried a fix for this. So I had a fix. Problem, the fix is a bloodbath on our test cover, on our tests. There's no, I don't think there is anything that we can do here. Right, I tried. So there is a fix. The fix is inverting the position, the relative position of the Q microtask with the next tick in our process next tick function. But that breaks a lot of tests, like 40 something tests. So it's I can push the PR essentially, but that would be, it's essentially a bloodbath. Okay, I'm not even convinced. Like we can fix this, but if we do, we're going to break a lot of the ecosystem, I presume. So this is my.
Yeah, I think the problem we have here is we have a bug that causes a lot of subtle behavior, unexpected behaviors. It's a little bit like, it's like a ghost in the code. And depending on whether you're calling your code from a set immediate context or a Q microtask context, which you might not have any control over, your code can behave differently.
Well, it's called Zargo in old school. It's called Zargo in old. This is a pure Zargo bug. Okay.
And we can either let it.
So it's a ghost. It has a name. It's called Zargo.
Yeah. And the only way to fix it is to break a lot of stuff. So basically, do we fix it and get rid of a lot of subtle, weird bugs? And we have no idea what the actual, how big of a problem it is. Or do we just leave it broken because we don't want to break? Benjamin?
Yeah, so a few things. First of all, thank you so much for tackling this. These sort of timing bugs are really, I want to say common, especially for new users. And it's very tricky to fix. It's not unlike anything else we've worked on in streams, but it's very tricky to fix. I am not convinced the fix actually works. It just moves the amount of scheduling the user needs to do to be bigger. I think what we should do, thank you. What we should do is ensure all our APIs that emit error events or events from APIs that return promises don't emit those events before the promise reactions run. I think in general it's a very hard problem, and moreover it's not a new problem. It's a problem that we've had for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Benjamin, it does not require any more problem. The fix that I had, it's a 3-line fix, it's a 5-line fix, and it does not add any more scheduling at all.
Can you send me the PR? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. I was looking at Ronang's fix.
No.
Okay.
It's a completely different change. It's
sorry.
I didn't post the code because it was so much breaking that when I saw that make test so rad, I was just scared. And I just said, no, I'm not opening this. I'm not opening.
My PR doesn't fix the problem. It has to be, we have to change something in the event scheduling.
Ronag approach does not work.
Yeah.
I agree. What I'm saying is a change. I'm going to post the diff, okay? So that you can take a look at the diff.
Sure.
I am not going to, it's not ready to be reviewed in any form. So let me.
Giving an understanding on the underlying problem.
Yeah, I can give you an understanding of the underlying problem. Yeah, cool.
So,
and I mostly tag this for visibility. And, if there's people that are interested and want to engage in this, please, engage on the issue. And maybe we can even have another meeting, a call or something to discuss it, because it's quite, it affects everything basically that has to do with
So just in terms of strategy to better understand, I in an ideal world where we can like build node from scratch, we wouldn't have like two queues. There would be like one microtick queue, and then next tick and queue microtask and promise reactions, they would all like share the queue, which currently isn't the case. How far are we in terms of like breakage from that? Because that would be ideal. Like if we make a breaking change, like maybe that's the breaking change we can.
That would be even worse from my point of view. So the
In terms
impact
of
of that,
breakage.
it's
Yeah.
the major problem is next tick is reentrant. So if you do a next tick within a next tick, it runs within. With Q microtask, it doesn't, or something like that. Okay, you need to wait till
It does, just on a different queue.
It does on a different
Right.
queue. So it's
Yeah. So between next ticks and queue microtask. So if you have a queue microtask and you have a next tick inside it, that next tick will schedule like on a different queue. Yeah, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's pretty complicated in terms of like not breaking everything.
yeah.
Anyway, super interesting. Thank you for taking the look.
In general, I've been looking around a little about, you Google node.js event loop, and what the available information there is. And in general, the assumption is that, next ticks will always run before microticks and promises, right? But that's not entirely true.
We never guarantee that. Like
we don't.
Yeah.
But a lot of resources and the collaborative knowledge out there makes this assumption, and a lot of code written based on that assumption.
That was going to be my question: is this just like unspecified behavior, or is there some reason to expect it? And if it's, I mean, maybe one of the things we should do is to try and better document or explain it's not guaranteed. It could work this way, it could work that way. You got to code to allow for either.
The problem is that it's very unintuitive. So like you can, this happened to me on Ditchy. I wrote some code. I think this obviously works. This should work, and then it didn't, because it behaves in a very unintuitive manner, and we can document that a lot and write warnings, etc. But people are still going to shoot themselves in the foot.
Is there any way tooling could help define? It's probably too complicated to find those for you, right?
Yeah, the tooling would basically say, "Oh, you're using asynchronous stuff. Don't make any assumptions about the order of
right. Yeah. Okay.
It can fuzz, but like a lot of the reasons we use microticks form in the first place in the code base is explicitly to avoid Zalgo. It's to avoid this.
Yeah, that's the biggest risk here. Okay.
Yeah. So like whenever we change the timing, if we can like just by chance, because we make something sooner, introduce Zalgo, like by trying to remove Zalgo, we introduce more Zalgo. And it's like an inherent problem to having APIs that need to be sometimes synchronous, like our event emitter. So it's like it's a fundamental problem. It's a tricky one, and it's very. I agree with Matteo and Robert here. It's very tricky to change. But like show the diff. Let's see what breaks and evaluate.
Yeah, I would hope we could at least make this work for make it less Zaldo for the node core stuff, if there is issues there.
Yeah, and the other thing is in our own APIs, and we need to document this in like at the development guide. If we have an API that returns a promise, we must end like that promise like fulfills with an event emitter. Any events that event emitter emits must wait for the promise to react first, because otherwise we emit events and the user can't react to them.
Yeah, and sometimes, the way the code is right now, sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't work, depending on the context of the caller.
Yeah, so like that we should fix regardless.
Okay, I think we can continue this on the issue, but I think it's an important issue, and I would encourage those that are knowledgeable in this area to engage.
Okay, so that sounds good. The next issue on the agenda is enable core pack by default, number 50963. I think, Robert, you might have been in that discussion as well.
No, core pack, I stay away from that.
Okay, who was it? Maybe it was Antoine. Hopefully I'm not just calling
I commented on
Yeah, it was you. Okay, right. I knew
Yeah,
I knew
pointed
somebody
an
here
issue.
was commenting on it. So
Yeah. Yes, Yagiz added it to the agenda, but he's not here today. So yeah, I guess somebody is asking if we could make Corpac use easier. So I guess the question is, what's our stance? Is it something we should consider? And what about NPM also? Because Miles added a thorough comment on the issue, saying that NPM team is not interested in being distributed. Like they want to keep NPM being included on itself as a specific version with each Node.js versions. So I guess there's going to be a discussion about that because the original goal of Corpac was we don't want NPM security issues to affect our release schedule. And the idea was if we could have a package manager that could take care of that, it would alleviate work from the release team. But if NPM refuses to change how it's being included in Node, what does it? Well, what do we want to do about Corpac? Do we want to listen to the NPM team and or not also? So I guess that's a question for the release team more than the TSC. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have answers myself. It's I think it's yeah, it's a judgment call to make.
yeah, because I know we've had some people also open issues complaining about Corpac, so it's kind of like we get quite a varied opinions.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we should ask the release team to discuss that, since well, it affects how they operate if npm is included one way or another. I don't think we could make a decision now, but, so yeah. If you have thoughts, don't hesitate to comment on the issue, and yeah, maybe we can move on until next time.
Okay. I'll just take a note the calls for people to comment on the issue. Okay. Anything else to chat on that one before we move on? Okay, if not, the next one is lib promote process binding tick callback to runtime deprecation. Again, if you're in the loop on that one, feel free to jump in. Actually, I think this one's been on the agenda for a while. We've discussed it. I think James was trying out some of Joey's suggestions. I see it was discussed a couple weeks ago.
There's another issue, 1482 in the TSC repo that has some proposed plans or options on how to proceed.
Right, so I think that was open last week. I think it would be good to get more people in there commenting, unless anybody has something we should discuss today. So I think at this point, we should just leave this one on the agenda for now, and people could engage in that issue, and we'll talk. But and here's Joey. Sorry, I'm going to promote Joey. Joey, I don't know if you want to add anything on that one.
Sorry, I just joined. What was the issue?
We were just talking about the promote process binding tick callback. We've just gone through that. Like it had been discussed a couple meetings ago, and last week you opened a issue 1482 with the plan. And
Yes.
we're basically saying, please jump in and discuss and comment there.
Yes. I think that's the progress so far. Just please take a look at the questions raised in the issue, and if you have any opinions, say them in the issue before we, I don't know, put our vote or something.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for opening that. And then the last one on the agenda is the Events Collaborator Summit for 2024. I don't know, Matteo or Joey, if you wanted to say anything more. I know you mentioned a little bit the plans and the announcements part.
Matteo, you're muted.
Go ahead, Joey.
I think I don't know there is anything more to say, Joey. I think.
Yeah, I think so far we're just waiting for a confirmation of the venue.
Okay. Venue. Okay, so at that point, I'm going to jump over to the strategic initiatives just to see if we can do a quick update there. So just give me 1 sec to get to those. Okay, so Antoine, anything you want to say on the core promise APIs?
Well, nothing this week.
Okay. Shenzong, anything on the Shadow Realm? Okay, I see in the chat, no update. On the next pen, I don't have any updates. And Joey, on the startup snapshot?
We've landed the configuration of the startup snapshot and some improvement to the warnings.
Okay. And I think that takes us, oh, sorry, Primordials, Benjamin.
No update, and likely no updates until the war here is over and like I go back to full capacity.
Okay, sounds understood. Okay, so I think that takes us to the end of the list, unless I missed anybody who's here. Any other topics? Actually, I guess the one topic I would say is I'm wondering if we should plan the meeting for next week or cancel. I'll definitely be away, so I'll need a chair if volunteer. I see Matteo was out of cancel or
I propose we cancel, but this is my recommendation. But if people wants to meet and stream, I'm going to be off. So
yeah. Anybody opposed to just canceling for next week and we'll get back the first week of January?
Maybe we can discuss that when the issue is open, because it's only 8 of us here.
Sure. Although I won't be around to discuss it, so.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to let the issue be open, just a heads up that I'm not going to be around to do anything with it, so.
Yeah.
But sure, we'll just leave it in the calendar, and what'll happen
for
will
notice, I will be off for 2 weeks. So if you expect me to chair the week after, I won't be able to.
Let me just take a look. So next week, well, actually yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Since we've changed the times, I'd still like you to chair some of them, but so we could plan for you to chair the one on the 10th.
Yeah, Yeah.
which
yeah.
is your back, because that's 2 weeks, I think. Next one is
3
the
weeks. It's
third.
three from now. So
Yeah, that would be third, because the first one when we come back would be the third. That's 2 weeks from now, and then you could share the
Yep.
one on the 10th. So
Yep.
it's just not quite as obvious. We'll just have to make sure that we get you in the doing there. Any other things we should chat about, discuss, or I guess I'll say if anybody, for anybody who Go ahead.
There is one thing. There was this pesky issue about the finalization registry that I am constantly fighting for in my company, but this is my, this is one of my banes. Shenzong, were you able to get to? You said you were preparing a PR for it. This is issue been on the list for quite some time. It's the V8 coverage issue. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I know. I think Shenzong had an issue with his network.
oh,
earlier.
okay. So no worries then. Let me
Maybe retag that on the agenda or something. If you want to
yeah,
find it when we get
I'll
back.
retag this on the agenda. On it for next few times. So
Okay.
yeah.
Anything
So
else we should
there was
chat
an
about?
update anyway. If you're tracking this problem, there was an update. So
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Good to hear. Okay, well, thanks for everybody's time. And if anybody's taking a break, have a good break. And I will see everybody in January, but otherwise, see everybody later. Bye.
Bye. Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays.